Welcome. How are you all doing tonight? Welcome to another episode of Let's Get Heavy. Tonight we've got Rob from the mighty Yersin, who I cannot wait to chat with. Their latest album released back in January, the Scythe is Remorseless, is a fucking absolute banger. I hope you've all checked it out. If not, what's the matter with you? Get on that shit straight away. Well, after this interview anyway. So, without further ado, let's get the man of the hour here. So, Rob, welcome to Let's Get Heavy, where we like to chat with bands and get to know people a bit more, and also kind of just congratulate you on the release of the Scythe is Remorseless, which has been, like I said before, out since January. The initial reactions, how have the initial reactions been since that album was released?
Yeah, it's gone really well, to be fair, and in fact better than we imagined. It was released January 10th or something like that, so it already feels as if that's almost a lifetime ago. But yeah, it went really well. We've only performed some of the songs once or twice, maybe. So starting tomorrow, we're going on we're supporting Massive on that nationwide tour. So some of the tracks will be getting a good airing out. So see how they go down live. Might be an absolute farce, in all honesty, but you never know. Might go down well.
And you've just mentioned, obviously, you're going on tour as of tomorrow. Where can people go and witness you live?
Well,
I think you're starting off in Hull tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes, Polar Bear Club in Hull tomorrow. That is with Carved and Mastiff. And then second night's Glasgow. We're playing with Penny Coffin. Is it Blood Brain or something? Brain Blood? I don't know. Sorry, it slipped me. And then obviously Mastiff again. And on Sunday it's Edinburgh with Iron Altar.
Ooh.
Iron Altar are absolutely fantastic band.
They are.
Tremendous live as well. So we'll have to be hopefully we warmed up after the third show. And then the remainder of the tour is London, Brighton, Bristol, Birmingham, Nottingham, I believe, but I'm not certain who's playing on those dates.
Right, this one. Yeah, when I think you played with Iron Altar when they were in Newcastle, didn't you? At Little Buildings.
No.
You didn't, did you not? I thought you did.
We were asked to, but sadly, just due to life and work schedules, I had to say no. I mean, thank God we didn't have to play after them, because that would have been brutal. But
I missed that show,
yeah.
and I've been dying to see Iron Altar for a while, because they are, from what I've heard, fantastic.
Yeah, we did manage to catch up with. We did play with them at their album release show in Edinburgh. I believe it was it last November, December? So they were fantastic then. There's no reason to believe that they won't be. I believe it's a bigger venue this time. It's the first time we've played Prominence, and so which is a bit of a legendary venue in all honesty. So yeah, it should be a good night. Stay in the night as well in Edinburgh. So we'll have a few book passes. Maybe not. Only a couple.
It's always a good night in Edinburgh. If I always said, me and the missus, we could afford it, would move to Edinburgh, because we absolutely love that place. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
just the nightlife is just something else.
Around like Cowsgate and down towards Bannerman's, there's some lovely place. I've never had any trouble or anything like that in Edinburgh. Different story, Glasgow, but I'll be keeping strictly to the venue in Glasgow.
I've only been to Glasgow once. That was for Sabaton and Baby Metal. I didn't really have a bad experience in the town. It was the drive into the city centre. It just felt so backward to what I'm used to. Because obviously when you're on the streets, or so when you're on the motorways, you normally, when you come off ready to go, they turn off. You normally come off on the left. This one, you come off on the right, and it was what's going on here? Just weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, my biggest concern with their tour, at least for the first the second and third night is just parking, and then we've got a van for the remainder, so that'll be easy. I'll
Oh,
be
nice one.
passenger princess for the remainder.
Oh, you're not on driving duties. That's all right.
Nope. Thank God.
So, for anyone who is new to Yersin, by the way, I've always been curious. Am I pronouncing the name of the band correctly?
Not 100% right. It's the
Please
Y
correct
is more
us.
pronounced to it. It's Yersin is the
Yersin,
correct one.
Yersin.
The S is almost a Z, but it's a Swiss surname, so it's a little bit flamboyant on the tongue.
Because whenever you do Google, it does tend to come up with a lot of Swiss related topics. So
Yeah.
I was going to get into that in a bit, how the name came about. But for those new to Yersin, how would you describe your sound and style?
Well, I think it's mainly got to be death metal, black metal infused crust punk, really, hasn't it? There's no other way. We're not heavy enough to be death metal. We're not fast enough to be black metal. So it's in the middle. Oh, so I would say that was what it would be. I think
Hints
it'll
of
be a fair
hints of
representation.
thrash, would you say?
No, I don't really like thrash.
No.
Maybe no thrash apart from Slayer, which possibly the greatest metal band ever. Just can't get away with thrash.
Nice, nice.
Sorry about
That's
that.
quite alright. It's quite alright, mate. Absolutely, thrash for me is my all time favorite. Out of all the
Oh,
stuff,
really?
I love all forms of metal, but thrash. There's just something about it. That's
Great.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely love it. Love like just riff. To be fair, anything with a fucking guitar solo, a chunky riff, and
Multiple
a
guitar
sweet
solos.
break. Yeah. Why the fuck not? And chunky breakdowns. Just anything. To be fair, I mean, just I absolutely love it all. Um, so we'll get into the album, the Scythe and the Remorseless. This feels like your most ambitious work to do. Was there any specific vision when creating this album?
In the past, well, the previous record, admittedly, that was just a bit. It was hodgepodge, to be generous to it. There was some new tracks and then some older tracks from when it was like a different incarnation of the band. But this time, it was a bit more focused on writing. Like again, we've stopped writing in the room. Like we used to just like jam out tracks and then what will be will be. But we decided to maybe take a bit more deliberate approach with regards to like penning the tracks out on whatever music app it is. I couldn't tell you what it is. And then I kind of thinking about it because we're all getting a bit older now and just banging out because we play really, really fucking loud. So, can you swear? I do apologize.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah, you
is
can.
tiring, just absolutely blasting out the riffs and then try and actually think about it. So the main difference and the way that we're going to move forward is just continue just penning the tracks prior to playing them. And yeah, with regards to ambition, um, if we do manage to record another record, we've got so many more ideas to incorporate. For example, on the first track, Triumphant, we've actually got some people think it's keyboards, but it's in fact a female vocalist who's from Sunderland, Bernie Christie.
All
Like
right.
she hits like such operatic highs that like multiple reviewers have thought, oh yeah, it's like a pre-programmed key or something like that. But that's in fact a live vocal. We've been looking to do that live, I think, twice now. And so that's certainly something I'd love to incorporate more in the future.
Was she with you when performing that live? Yeah.
Yes, yes. For the tour, we're going to do, well, we're going to try and do that with like a pre-recorded sample. If it works or not, I have no idea at all, but we'll try.
Everything
But
sounds
when
good
it's
in
live,
theory.
it's absolutely magnificent. Yeah.
Everything sounds good in theory, doesn't it? And then something always goes. Aye.
With us, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong and drastically. So we will see tomorrow night in Hull.
Well, I've seen a couple of your live videos. The ones from the bunker. They
Yeah,
were
we were
absolutely spot
that was
on.
okay. We were a bit out of time and stuff like that. But we're quite averse to rehearsal, but we'll actually have rehearsed for this tour, and it seems to have almost like breathed a new breath of life into the band. If you know what I mean, like because I don't like rehearsing personally. I find it, but it's a bit of a chore, but it's something that obviously we've been given such a good opportunity, and we have been lucky to be booked for certain things later in the year that requires us not to be absolute shite. So we've spent a little bit of time getting there in the room, just knocking through.
Yeah. We touched on this a little bit before we went live. I can't obviously disclose this for anyone who is watching, but stay tuned because it's fucking brilliant news. So stay up to date. Go follow Yersin on their socials, and you'll keep up to date with everything that's coming up because you don't want to miss it. It's a cracking little announcement that they've got. But back onto the album. Talk to me about the lyrical themes on the album. Are there any interconnected, or are there some tracks more standalone?
There's certainly not. I wouldn't say any standalone tracks. Even though I'm not the lyric writer, I kind of came up with some themes. But one of the main things I think we've touched upon is that, like, I've noticed with metal and notably extreme metal, is that they kind of really screw the bolt in super tight on negativity and like misanthropy and stuff like that. But we try to, without being in like an overt hardcore, like let's get it done type of way, try to get a little bit of like hope or positivity in the tracks instead of just, because when you listen to like some super bleak material, it kind of, well, for me, it sours the mood a little bit. I mean, I know that's kind of some bands' ethos, especially in black metal, to be the most oppressive and like bleak lyrical content as you could possibly have, but that doesn't really resonate with me. I like to say some of my favourite bands, apart from Slayer, which is absolute cartoon stuff, but that's why I love it. But the album itself follows, well, I wouldn't say it's a concept record. I would say it's loosely inspired by The Seventh Seal, the film from the 50s, starring Max von Sydow. It's just about the inevitability of like human life, that you're only going to end up one way. And so that's the rough. I mean, even the album artwork mirrors the black and white aesthetic of the film, but it starts off in triumph and ends up in doom. So that's the kind of lyrical arc of the record.
On that, because that album artwork is absolutely fantastic. Whoever's done that for you has done an absolutely amazing job.
Okay.
Who was
Well,
the?
it's got to be the only metal album with a horse's part of it. When we got the album artwork through, it was just a massive horse's willy on it. We were like, just keep it. That gives it even more charm.
It's gonna go down.
But yes,
as an iconic album from the Northeast, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not for the, just for that particular reason.
Just for the,
I can't show it on.
Just for the willy itself.
Yeah, because of Twitch TOS, I can't show it on Twitch, unfortunately.
But yes, the art was done by a gentleman. I only know I do know his real name, but it escapes me at this moment. But his moniker is Warhead Art. He's an artist based out of the Ukraine. We've used him in the past. One of our apart from the band logo, we have like this like Iron Fist and the Shield. We've got like a bunch of merch with it. And the stage banners have got it on. But he's most famous. He's done work for who was he doing? Marduk, Mayhem. Was it Mayhem? No, it wasn't Mayhem. Marduk, Gotor, and a whole stream of war metal bands. I do enjoy a little bit of war metal, but I really enjoy the the minimal aesthetic of the artwork.
Right.
Because there's so many bands, especially now. One of the big driving factors up to get him, and especially the layout, well, the artwork for the record. There's so many bands now. Like, even though I love Kerry King, if you look at the new Kerry King artwork, it looks like AI. It looks like just. But the album artwork for our record, I've actually got it. because that's a pen on paper, and we scanned it and then uploaded it and blah blah blah. Added some post effects on like the background, but I really enjoy like the primitive, but also it's totally real as well. There's some other meanings into the actual layout as well of the design. I don't really want to get into it. It's a bit
Yeah.
artsy fartsy.
Is it meant to resemble like one of the Four Horsemen? Am I right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Well, the artist has done an absolutely fantastic job. And like you say, that iconic bit in the album
The
cover is
ice
absolutely,
mammoth.
yeah. It
Cherry on the cake, I'll tell you.
did um did he warn you he was going to do that or anything, or was it just
No, no. Well, it's our main conversations with them, I believe, is like through like Google Translate,
well, wait, I see.
and like one of the points was, well, I assume where it came from is with regards to like the virility of death, and so his way, I believe, to convey that was in the ultimate like phallic symbol, which was in fact the Chaz.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think it's. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. Our all three of us was like, we cannot Photoshop that out. It has to stay.
Like I say, I absolutely love it. So, were there any particular influences, musical or otherwise, that fed into the sound this time round?
The sound, well, we leaned a little bit more into the Swedish sound, but I can only speak for the guitar sound myself. But I've always been a fan of the Swedish HM2 sound, but that's like almost derivative now. So like we're playing like a really alternative tune, and we don't have a bass player. So I like that we went for a more fuzzy HM2 sound. That's like not too clear, but it's a bit warmer because a lot of like the Swedish stuff, like Entombed at the Gates, goes without saying that they're a big influence, but it can be a little bit glassy and a little bit like high end on the ear. So we went for a bit more of a dull down, almost fuzz sound. So that was one of the main driving points for like tonality for the guitars. The drums are just as loud and as punchy as can be. All performed live in the studio, but live in the studio now, like no click. We refuse to play with a click track. So there is bits where it is in triumphant. I think all three verses are at a different speed, but again, we didn't want to correct that. We just wanted it to be as true to sound as possible because we could go in. There's other bands that will forever go unmentioned, but you can just tell that they've had like Drum Max Pro the Apple iMac and just punching it all in. And from a more like of a Black Sabbath kind of perspective, like if you've got like live sound and drums and live sound and instrumentation, it just sounds a better experience, if you know what I mean, instead of just super mechanical, like fake, like all the guitars. It's not no plugins. It's all like real amps, real setups. Just trying to keep. I mean, it's polished. There's no doubt about that. And it has been. There's been multiple attempts. It's not just a one shot go at it, but just trying to make it sound as authentic as you can, but not overproducing it at the same time.
Yeah. It sounds like you've put a lot of time into this album, a lot of heart and soul into this record.
Well, not admittedly, not as much as we would like to in the future, because obviously we're not professional musicians. We're weekend warriors, to say the least. But there's been a lot of deliberate thought. But moving forward in the future, we just hope to just kind of expand upon not only the rawness, but like the size of the music as well. I mean, we're not gonna. We have no intentions on recruiting any more musicians to the band because me, Mal, and Story, like, we were friends long before any of this came about. It's not just a advert in a shop window like we used to do when we were kids. This is something for us three. I mean, we can't add guest musicians, which we're totally open for, and there's certain plans to do so in the future. But yeah, just try and create a bigger scale like record, but maintain the core foundation of the band really.
Yeah. Next one. And you mentioned before you don't have a bass player. Has that always been the case, or did you originally have a bass player?
Well, I would say the band truly came about in 2020, but prior to that, we did have a bass player, but it just didn't work out. And then obviously we're pretty tight knit, and which has its drawbacks as well. I mean, we've tried. I'm sure we've been on the verge of killing each other many times before, which is, I mean, being so close is a benefit, but it's also a detriment as well because it's what's this like three brothers really. We've known each other for 20 odd years, so we
Wow.
just didn't feel comfortable bringing anyone else in because you immediately it's not like Jason Newsted joining Metallica. It would be the three of us and then a fourth person, and that would already kind of create a little bit of a split, and we didn't want to do that. Also, having three people in the band is much better for just logistics in general. It's instead of having a five piece and then being up for debate everything because everything's agreed upon. Having three people, there's less people to convince,
Yeah.
and so we I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
we adjusted the the tunings. We'll play like 8 string guitars now, so like to really fill
Wow.
out the bottom end. You can't, and we use some ridiculous effects, and we've got, but you, from my ear, obviously a bass guitar certainly has its own sound, but from what we're trying to do, it can be just flushed out with using bass amps and octave
So I was
downs
just
and
about
stuff
to
like that.
do you use like an octave pedal sort of thing to give it a bassy tone
Yeah,
sort of thing? Yeah.
yeah. So I've got like a 500 watt bass stack, like a huge one, like a 8x10 or 8x12. So it's just like octave down and then like a rap distortion afterwards. So it sounds brutal. Like we do play, and I'm proud to say we do play incredibly loud as well. Well, we'll be performing like some serious venues this time around. So I mean, I'll be in the hands of the recording, the sound engineer. But my favorite shows are just like stage volume shows, like AC/DC style. Just have it absolutely just maxed out, and it just sounds fantastic.
Motorhead style, just deafen everybody.
Yeah, and also like I don't wear earphones as well. I
Oh,
don't wear
really?
ear protection, even when rehearsing.
Dangerous.
But yeah, I know it's dangerous, but you just gotta roll with it. Well, that's the benefit of not rehearsing as much. So I'm not exposed to it for hours and hours a week. So one day it'll creep up to haunt me, but
No doubt it will.
I've escaped. Oh yeah, no, but yeah,
No,
hopefully technology's reached a certain point where it'll help an old deaf bastard like me pull through at the point.
no, that I've had to start wearing them like in the last year or so, like because I've noticed my hearing being affected, especially for work and stuff. Like I'm having to ask people to repeat themselves, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to start wearing ear protection at gigs now, like because and as well, if you're a band like you've just said, as loud as you are, once you've come out of that gig, yeah, your head's just gonna be absolutely ringing.
Yeah, just like sometimes for 2 or 3 days, but I know it's certainly something I need to address. But for me, the feel goes playing the guitar. Everyone else in the band wears ear protection. I'm only speaking for myself, and I know it's something that I need to address. But I'm still at the phase where I think, fuck it.
Like I say, I've only been doing it the last year or so. It could be even 2 years, but yeah, it helps. And to be fair as well, I feel as if it helps more with the because I can hear the guitar tones better. I feel like I can hear everything way better with the earplugs in. So
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I cannot recommend it enough to anyone to go to gigs and wear your earplugs, especially as a
I
punter.
also recommend it.
If you
I
also
also recommend
there you go, there you go. We've heard it from Rob himself. If you're going to gigs, especially if you're going to go and see Yersin, make sure you got your earplugs in.
it.
So what has been the writing process on this album? Did you do anything different to what you've done in the past?
Yeah, well, just
Try anything?
as I said, just well, trying anything there. There's a few guitar solos in there, and they've been incorporated in a way where it doesn't affect the rhythm. Like for example, the prime example is the ending of the side is Remorseless, like almost a solo break, but I love like Kerry King and stuff like that. And it was just a way to kind of try and incorporate that kind of like lead style, but then I can't just break off into a like a Tony Iommi style solo with nothing in the background because it would sound totally flat and without any body at all. But so yeah, that was one of the major driving factors of it. There's a lot more D beat this time as well. Big fan of like some of the Swedish D beat bands, mainly Martyrdod. Uh, they're like an awesome. Would you call it a arena crust? I wouldn't know, but yeah. So
Right.
we have like large D beat sections in the songs now. Obviously, we've got the blasts and, as you said, the thrash. But yeah, that again, and also the slow stuff. We've got some. We tried to make it uh, surprisingly slow at some points. Again, with not playing to a click while recording, it kind of gives you that flexibility. You can go for like feel more than you can go for just hitting a click perfectly. So yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question any well,
Yeah, yeah.
but but yeah, that was some of the different stuff. I mean, going forward, what would I include? I try to maintain as much melody in the songs as possible. I mean, for a band that's reasonably heavy, I, I try to maintain some sort of melody in each track, and that will continue because there's some great bands, like for example, Cryptopsy, fantastic at just like chugging riffs, slammings, slams, and like all that blast
Sport
beats.
were like.
But yeah, but I'm a big fan of like the black metal tracks, mainly Immortal and like Satyricon. They're not the most underground black metal bands, but they've got like a fantastic sense of melody in the
Mm.
tracks. And if I can try and bring that into something that works in a three piece in the style that we do, I will continue to try and if not put more melody into the songs through the riffs and just through the vocal deliveries and stuff like that.
That's why I mentioned like the melodies there in black metal. That's why I like Dimmu Borgir. Um,
Yeah, I love them. They're fantastic.
yeah. Saw them live for the first time at Bloodstock last year. Although it was only for like
Really
40.
good.
Yeah, really good. They only played 40 minutes, 50 minutes or something. But yeah, I
You
absolutely.
could really get a good hour and a half out of them. They're absolutely fantastic. I mean, they've got an incredibly diverse back catalogue of tracks. I saw them the first time in, show my age, 2004.
Wow.
I was on a family holiday. My mum and my dad took us to Florida. Went for a Florida holiday, and somehow I managed to like persuade them to take us to the Ozfest in Tampa Bay, and they were
Nice.
on. And it's still got to be the best heavy metal lineup of all time. I've still got the T-shirt in the wardrobe next to us from there, but yeah, it's just seeing them for the first time. Also, one thing is that like the stage getup, which I think it's something I still lingered with us because they've got like such a outrageous live like cost. Well, I wouldn't say it's a costume, but they have an aesthetic without a doubt. And so I thought, ah, fuck it, I'm going to do that as well. So I've got like the big spikes and stuff like that. It looks daft, but I absolutely love it.
I
My
thought you
wife
kind of got that
absolutely.
from like a Kerry King sort of vibe.
So I've got. I mean, it's all fell into the blender, but I've had these shin pads made,
Right.
and they're an absolute hazard to health. These things, but like I've had to because we're all packed for tour, and so I've got my like spare change of clothing. And I've had to like strap these like shin pads to the back of my backpack, like do you know what you see people with skateboards?
Yes.
So who knows what people think when they see me cutting about Glasgow or Brighton with these absolute spiked monstrosities strapped to the back of my backpack.
Will they let you into the venues with them?
Nah, well, hopefully I'll give us some artistic life. They debuted when we played with Iron Altar,
Right.
and people were just like, "What on earth are those?" And I says, "Oh, this is just this is it. This is the package."
Nice one. Yeah, because like, as a from a punter's perspective, going into security now, the cracking down I've noticed on denim battle vests with the spikes and stuff. No, you kind of have that because it
Well, I
dangerous.
saw Priest last Wednesday, and I thought, oh well, I'm going to get in a bit like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I decided to show up to Priest in my most Priest outfit that I had, and I had this like 5-layer studded belt on, and I was going through the metal detector, and they're like, "Have you got a belt on?" And I revealed it, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And they're like, "Oh, come on in, it doesn't matter."
That's all right then. I think it was Manchester where I saw a gig. I can't remember the band who it was, though, but he had a leather cut on, but he had like massive spikes on the shoulders. And they were about that the spikes, and they were on his shoulders, and they were like, "I'm sorry, you're either gonna have to unscrew them because obviously they were just screw-ons, or you're gonna have to take off the jacket completely because it's dangerous."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I wouldn't wear what I wear on stage to a concert because you know the promoter and the venue does have a duty of care, but hopefully I get away with it being in brackets artiste
Yeah,
or a chancer. But anyway, yeah,
fingers crossed for you. Fingers crossed. Might just tell you to
yeah,
leave it in
hopefully
the. Maybe just tell you to
I
leave it in the van or something.
leave it in the bins.
I
Yeah.
hope not, because you've probably worked your ass off to make that as well, and cost
Oh,
it.
I never made it. I befriended the fella that does the Gorgoroth stage clothes. So I said, "How can you make this?"
Nice one.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Yersin is from the Sunderland, from the northeast area
Yes.
here in the UK.
Yes. The
How does
stronghold. The
yes,
stronghold.
yes. Um, it's just yes, I am from the Newcastle area. There's no rivalry here. It's just love. Just in
No.
case anyone thinks
Just
between
love.
Joys and Mackems, right?
I've married a lass from Newcastle, so I've betrayed my heritage to say the
Oh,
real
mate, there you go. You're an honorary
name.
Geordie now. There you go. But how does the city or region influence your music and identity as a band?
Well, the city is. I love Sunderland, but there's nothing. There's nothing apart from the bunker, which Kenny operates. The bunker is an absolute. It's a lifeline for some people, but
You got it. I
it's
think you got the
certainly a reason for
is
hope.
the Independent in Sunderland as well.
Yeah, but for the type of music that we play, it's not really.
Not for you.
Well, we've played there before, but I don't know. Just there's something about Newcastle, as you know, that like we could play in some. We played a fundraising event for the bunker because the bunker, for anyone that doesn't know, in Sunderland, it's like a charity-based music venue slash recording slash rehearsal space in Sunderland that really provides for not really the local music culture, but they do a lot of social work as well, which we're incredibly supportive of. So we did manage to actually sell out the bunker, which was it was only 50 or 50 people or so, But we did that and gave, well, it was agreed upon beforehand that all the proceeds would go towards the charity. So
Legend. What was
I've
it?
lost my train of thought.
What was the charity?
But moving, no, the bunker is a charity.
Oh,
It
right. Sorry.
provide, yeah. So, but Newcastle's fantastic. There's also like a large wealth of like great local acts that, I mean, I'm sure every other city has them, but we have some great ones as well. Like bands that you would think should, by rights, should be like major label artists. And this is not just me because I know them. Just you listen to, when I listen to new releases by major label artists, like, this just does not have a patch on somebody that I know that works for in a call center or works as like a teacher. It's just like it is really impressive. I mean, I wouldn't hold ourselves in the same regard as some of the other local bands because there's some fantastic talent, especially in Newcastle.
They're just the northeast in general.
Yeah.
Newcastle surrounding areas, just Newcastle's absolutely booming with so much fantastic bands. I've had the honor of booking some of those bands with my two partners on Get Heavy Fest last year. Absolutely amazing, amazing Newcastle scene at the minute, and not like I say, not just Newcastle surrounding area, Middlesbrough, Hartlepool, Sunderland as well.
Boy,
Darlington,
you
Durham, do
can't
you know what I
forget
mean? Just not the northeast. It's just absolutely booming at the minute.
Hartlepool, our brothers in Vulgar Dissection. They're fantastic. Love
Yeah.
those guys.
Spoke to Liam last Friday when we were both at the Hellbound Pantera tribute night. Congratulated him on Vulgar Fest, because that looks an absolutely tasty
Yeah,
lineup.
again, we were asked to play that as well, and we had to say no just because work and life commitments. But that's a great thing about the local scene is that it really cultivates. And there's people in the local scene that go out of their way and financially put their necks on the line, such as yourselves, such as Liam from Vulgar Dissection. Now, there's no financial support, but there's people that are willing and able to take the risk and create the scene off their own backs, which is absolutely fantastic. And without those people such as yourself, we put on a few shows, but I find it too stressful. Like I always get the paranoia that no one's going to show up or nothing like that. But
I will be honest, it can be a lot of graft. But luckily
it is, yeah.
I've got two amazing partners in Sean Payne and Dan from who's like a photographer from Dark Imaging. They help and support with everything. So
Yeah. I mean,
it's not just
props to all
myself.
three of you because it is like a nerve wracking bit because again you just have to put your money where your mouth is, and you just have to. Yeah, if no one else is going to do it, you have to do it yourself. I mean, I've dabbled with it a little bit. I've put on a few shows, just only in little buildings, which is still amazing. Like you're still putting yourself at because you're still putting yourself at some financial risk because I refuse to not pay. Everyone has to get paid, and everyone has to get paid well because there's so much underappreciation of like metal music. Somehow they don't like when you see again. Just I know the fees that some people charge for like just doing like crappy covers and just some lethargic swing music and stuff like that, and somehow they consider metal music to be of less value, which is in fact totally the opposite of that. So anyway, back on track is that it is stressful just to not even make the night a success, but make it worth everyone's while.
Yeah.
Not as in a because we never make a profit anytime we've done a show. Everyone gets paid equitably, and
Likewise.
everyone has a good time. But it's something that ultimately I'm going to have to step away because it was just like really like I was stressing about it to like an unusual amount. So, but I have the utmost respect for promoters and bookers such as yourself, just to put the necks on the line and just trying to make local music like respected and valued as well.
I mean, I'm still new to all this. Like I say, Sean Payne, he's been in the game for what, over 15 years. So he's the one that's really been educating me on everything. If I'm doing something wrong, or if he thinks it's not wrong, he'll tell us and put us right, and then at least that way I am still new to all this. I will be honest with you. So 2023, we only did 2 shows. We did like what like it was like Get Heavy warm up, which was we had Suffer UK, Stone Cold Abyss, who are sadly no longer with us. They have decided to call it quits.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, yes, yes, they did, didn't they?
They did, unfortunately. We it was 5 bands, so it was like I say, it was Suffer UK, Stone Cold Abyss, Swarms, Cast and Tephra, Divine Image, at Downcast Studios. That was our debut gig that we
Good, was
put
it
on.
good turnout?
It was amazing. We were literally 15, between 12 and 15 off a sellout.
What's the capacity there? If you don't mind us
It's
asking.
between 70, but
That's a great turnout. That's a great turnout.
70 was is the cap there. That's providing the bands who aren't playing have to stand like at the front, so kind of like that. So long as they're not in the, because I don't know if you've been to
Throw
Downcast.
up the deal horns.
So they've kind of, you've got like the front area where the bar and stuff is, because it is an outside venue at Downcast. But yeah, so long as the bands who aren't playing agree to stand at the front, and yeah, you can squeeze in 70 in the stage area. That's absolutely
Oh,
no
it's
problem.
fantastic. Well, in the future, who knows? We would love to be involved in something like that.
No worries whatsoever. We'll definitely be keeping you in mind for 2025, because 2024 is fully booked. This year we are at Downcast again. I'm looking forward to it. And one of our benefits as well is we stream that gig on this channel where we are right now live. We stream that. So our debut show was completely streamed. It was the first one, which is a 2-camera setup, front and back. And then for Get Heavy Fest 23, we went 4-camera setup. So it was just a multi-camera setup layout. And yeah, it was an absolute cracking day. I think everyone who watched live had a mint day, and everyone who was at the
GMTV style.
aye, pretty much, pretty much, aye. Was sold out the venue as well, so anyone who couldn't get in could head home and watch live. So aye,
Well, would love to be involved.
definitely, man, definitely keep your mind for 2025. I have got some ideas. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. But we are getting slightly off topic. Yeah, let's get back on topic. So the wider UK metal scene is thriving, as we have literally just discussed. Do you feel part of the larger community, or does Yersin stand apart?
Well, we don't stand apart. We're just part of a greater whole, really.
Yeah,
Sadly, because obviously what we are started during lockdown, and then there's only been, it feels like only a short period of time since. But yeah, there's some incredibly creative bands in the UK. Like, are you aware of? I don't know where they're from. Abduction.
heard of them, but never really listened to them.
Yeah, they're signed to Candlelight, so they've got some fantastic records. It's like absolute top tier black metal, and you've got like Mountain Caller, I believe, who record at the same place that we've recorded as well, and Mastiff, who are, in my opinion, Mastiff are the heaviest band in the UK without a doubt.
Nice.
They've
Yet to
got
see
no
them live.
slams or no.
I want to,
Oh,
but I'm yet to see them live.
yeah, well, I have, and trust me, it's 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 fucking great. I'll tell you that.
Nice. Keep tabs on that one next time they come to the tune.
Mm.
Um, Let's. What do you hope your fans take away from an Yersin live show?
I don't know. I really don't know. Everyone takes away something different, don't they? Like we've all been at shows where people have enjoyed it, people haven't enjoyed it, people have enjoyed it for different reasons. So I have no goal for how people perceive us. I think we're pretty, admittedly generic, but authentic, and we try to infuse a little bit of energy to it. But I know I have no desire to, because I have no desire to instill a message or a feeling or anything to the shows. It's just trying to be as authentic to ourselves as we possibly can be, really. And how people take that is that, and that's the joy of music as well.
It is.
That's one of the main reasons I don't like publishing lyrics, because I don't like the joy of music is just to take away from it the feeling that you get instead of having someone spell out exactly what you should be feeling. So if whatever you feel is just totally real to you, and you shouldn't be corralled into feeling any certain type of way. So I hope people enjoy it, and I hope people don't think we're absolute shite. But apart from that, it's totally up to you.
Nice one. So, are there any fan-driven moments or interactions that stand out in Yersin's history?
Yes, but I can't say. But there's one that stands out head and shoulders. But for the sake of people involved, I cannot comment any further. But it is wild to consider that this is done out of passion for music. It's not done out of any desire for, well, certainly not financially driven, because my God, it's expensive to do. But there's a certain compulsion. I'm speaking for all three of us here now. Is that we couldn't imagine not doing what we're doing. It's not something that's driven out of the desire to be like recognized, because it's certainly not being recognized. But I could never imagine not playing guitar in the band and not playing. Like I've been like people say, oh, if you could play in a tribute band, you could charge £800 a night or something like that, £900 a night. But I couldn't like imagine doing that because it's just not real, if you know what I mean.
I'm with you.
So
Yeah.
that, yeah. Anyway, I'm a bit off topic anyway,
It's for the love of metal,
but
dude.
the fact, yeah, you go exactly. I mean, yeah, we all fucking love it, don't we?
Wait,
It's a bizarre subculture of music that somehow resonates with everyone. But just seeing people like have interest in this is surreal to a certain degree. Like we've got people we've shipped off records to like literally every part of the globe, if you know what I mean. And the fact that there's interest globally in something that's so like it's formulated, but just between three people in a small room in Sunderland, and somehow that's like garnered interest from different countries is bewildering in all honesty.
nice. So Rob, we are getting close to the viewers' questions. So anyone
Okay.
whoever is watching live, if you've got a question for Rob, please use the channel redemption points, or otherwise your question will not be answered. While people are typing, quick one for you, or a quick. If your entire back catalogue vanished, except one song to represent Yersin, which song would you save?
Um, Sorry for the dead air there.
All right.
Well, it would have to be from the latest album, right? It would probably be Mouths from like Open Graves. we use that as an opener now, and it's just got everything in it.
Oh, really? I thought you would have started with Triumph.
No, because that's too hard to play live.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
you have to pucker yourself. Well, we do when we do it. So, but yeah, it's just I feel that's the. It's not close what I want to be doing in the future, but I don't know. It's got it's even though it's one of the shorter ones, and there's enough diversity for me to keep that one, so it would be that one.
Next one. Any dream collaborations, either musicians or from other artistic realms?
I'll start with other artistic realms. I would love to do a collaboration with Joe Quayle, the cellist. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm not.
But, I suggest anyone listening to this now. I mean, it's not metal, but it's more metal than most of the deathcore bands and all this type of stuff that you ever listen. It's just absolutely. Me and my wife saw her play in Leeds at the Brunel Social Club many years ago now, and it's just she's a. I talked to Joe, the fella that recorded our album. Just Joe Quayle. So Joe Quayle's like a auteur musician. Like she's got a certain vision and mastery of an instrument as well. So anyway, she's certainly got no interest in recording with us in the future. 3 Macam chances. So non-metal would be Joe Quayle, and certain artists we've already started to reach out with. I would love to have a guest solo on a record from Sammy Pierre Duet from New Orleans. He's famous for being in bands like Acid Bath, Goto, Crowbar, and I have had contact with him as well. And if whatever certain irons that we've got in the fire materialise, he would be top of the list. Obviously, the Demolition Man from Venom, Tony. Would love to have him on the track. And I would love to have just friends that are obviously talented musicians as well. I'd love to have Jim from Massive on the track, and maybe you'd say yes. Hopefully.
Well, work your magic while you're on tour.
Well, yeah, I'll schmooze them.
Exactly. Get them drunk to that way they agree.
Oh, well.
So, any questions for Rob, guys? Get them in now, please. Well, we're still waiting. Any guilty pleasures?
Well, well, yeah, it's guilty. There's no doubt about it. Well, me and my wife went to see Judas Priest last weekend, and I thought last Wednesday. Priests certainly aren't a guilty pleasure; they are my number one pleasure. But I thought I'm just not going to listen to any metal all day. We've got like a nice what's it called? Rented an apartment or something like that. So I just put on random, and like a bunch of like Lady Gaga songs came on, and I was like, these are all right. The videos are awesome. The videos that like she did compared to dudes standing in an abandoned warehouse, windmill headbanging. That's one thing with metal videos is that obviously budget constraints. Like, we've fallen victim to that as well. We've made an absolute shoestring of a video, but you would think that some of the bigger bands, Behemoth have nearly got there. The new stuff, I'm not a fan of the new stuff. It's anyway, moving past that, but you would love to see big budget metal bands. Well, Rammstein do an absolutely great job of it. The Rammstein videos are fantastic. Yeah, they've certainly got the budget for it, and they've got a vision as well. But yeah, going back to that, I mean, I'm not saying that I've got Lady Gaga on random, but I quite enjoyed it last week. I don't think anything should be guilty. You should just enjoy what you enjoy, really. But yeah, I did enjoy listening to Lady Gaga last weekend.
Nice one. There you go. But that's the beauty about heavy metal fans, because they're so diverse with their music that they can listen to anything. I can 1 minute, like you say, listen to a black metal album and then go straight into Willie Nelson.
Oh, good one.
You know what I mean? I like a bit of
Yeah,
country music, so so diverse.
yeah. I like the old Hank Williams albums from like the late 40s.
Right.
Like some of them are just really cool records. If you know what I mean, it's
Oh, we've got a couple of questions in for Rob. So, from Formaldehyde first, how do you feel about the digitalization of the metal screen? Not sure if it means
of the
screen or
metal.
scene.
What? Sorry.
He says, how do you feel about the digitalization of the metal screen? I'm not sure if he means screen or scene.
Yeah. If I've got no comment with screen, but scene. Yeah, I'm totally against it. I just I'm assuming when it comes to digitalization, like well, everything's digital. If you listen to some records, the artwork's digital. They're not
Yeah, he's just
moving
confirmed it's a
towards
typo.
AI.
So, yeah, scene.
So, yeah, I don't like it. Like ultra triggered, pre-programmed drums. Just I've got no heart for them. Yeah, you can listen to like a million BPMs and a million double kicks and stuff, but it's got no feeling behind it because I'm not going to call myself as a musician, but somebody that has experience playing live and stuff is that there's certain limits to playing, and then when you listen to some like unbelievable guitarists that you listen to, but it just sounds like it's all patched, it's all yeah. I'm just totally against it. Really, I'd rather hear some feeling or a certain amount of realness when you put the headphones in instead of like absolute perfection, ultimate speed. Yeah, it's not real. It's not real at all. That is, in fact, only my opinion, but
I
I think
think
I would like to think other people share that as well.
there's quite a lot of people. I think it's split 50-50 down the middle, to be honest with you. It does split the metal world. I have seen, because there has been quite a few debates about it on online that I've seen. Ronnie Radke kind of gets torn apart for this sort of thing.
Who's he?
Fallen in Reverse. Never come across Fallen in Reverse? No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? What's he done? What
Uh,
egregious acts has he done?
Basically, I believe I'm sure it was Fallen in Reverse, but someone will have to correct us if I'm wrong. But they didn't have the laptops and couldn't play.
Well, it depends
So,
what's on the laptop. I mean, if your stage show is on the laptop, like the lighting and I mean, there's nothing
but
wrong with the odd sample, but if
how
you're just yeah,
for how big Fallen in Reverse are,
mm,
when it comes to lighting, that'll be done by the venue, the lighting. So the
mm,
laptop would really only be used for the sample tracks. Maybe it's the samples, maybe it's adding effects to stuff that can't be done, either guitar.
yeah. Well,
I'd
that
basically
that's
adding another layer to the sound, or a bit of dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, if everything's based off the laptop, if you cannot perform without the laptop, I mean, obviously everything can be augmented and everything will be added to. I mean, I've confessed that we're using a sample, like a not a backing track, but just like what would be considered an effect. But if you cannot, as a band, perform songs that people can enjoy, then without the assistance of a laptop, then you're really
I think that's
in the
always
wrong game.
that's the split between people. Is like, is what you're paying for actually live?
Yes, like, yeah,
That's the
because
issue.
like I I've been to a few rap concerts in my time. It's just like a lot of unless it's done exceptionally well, a lot of the stuff is you should just listen to somebody playing. I mean, I mean, I'm wearing a Mob Deep t-shirt at the moment, but they're the exception to the rule. But what you're seeing isn't a live performance; it's just karaoke.
Right.
If you know what I mean. Yeah.
I'm with you.
But my main grievance with digitized metal music is just studio albums. It's unlistenable in my opinion. If you listen to the pre-programmed drums, patched guitars, like octave up, octave down vocals with like it's just what you're listening to. You're not listening to a real piece of music. You listen to a bit of Transformer soundtrack, effectively at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Grimdor, this question got asked a while back, but he's asking again.
Right. Okay.
How do you like your toast?
Right. That's what's, Well, it's got to be buttered, really amber in colour, and then got to have a bit of strawberry jam on it. Basically, I don't often eat toast,
Bit of strawberry
but
jam.
yeah,
For our American friends,
very
that's
pedestrian.
for our American friends, that's jelly, by the way.
Jelly.
But yeah,
Yeah,
strawberry
very
jam.
simple. Nothing flash. No goat's blood or nothing like that. No MDMA.
Yeah, it's just because they're black metal guys doesn't mean they spread that
Yeah,
goat's blood all over
yeah,
that toast.
yeah. Like a nice scone.
Yeah. How well done do you have your toast though?
It's got to be amber. If once you're heading towards the charred, it's more of an ordeal, really. Shouldn't it? It should be
Yeah.
crispy, but still have a little bit of moisture in it.
Another one from Grindor. Seriously, best venue you have played at?
The best venue. Well, for feeling, the best venue I played was a derelict room in Carlisle, upstairs. I think it was above some sort of retail. Anyway, so it was just like a room, and there was like a settee in the back. And this was, I can't remember when, but it was absolutely wild. I had three Marshall staffs with us, and it was just ungodly definite. The room was maybe about, I don't know, just imagine like a large fish and chip shop, but
Right.
it was absolute carnage. I've never, obviously my ears are ringing, but that goes without saying. But
Oh, that's
yeah,
a
so
good night, isn't it?
that's the best. I would love to play more just stupid stage volume live shows. But what was the second part of the question, or was that the
That
question?
was the basically. So where we gone there? So best live venue you've
I mean,
played at?
yeah, we played like big venues like O2 and stuff in Newcastle, but no, above the travel agent in Carlisle was the best place to do.
Nice. What? So back onto the digitalization. Years ago, auto tune was a big thing. Now it's other digitized and AI now. So you actually touched on a little bit of AI before. I kind of got a vibe you're not a fan, especially when it comes to
No,
artwork.
it's just not real. Yeah, what are you looking at? You're looking at an algorithm, and you can see it as well. It doesn't look right. It just there's a certain worth to someone creating a piece of art, no matter what it is. If it's a drawing, a song, food, like if you like, for example, you're eating in a posh restaurant. Okay, there's a
Yeah,
certain value to someone creating a meal for you, or just nuking it in the microwave. There is an intrinsic difference in value, and it's the creation as well as the enjoyment as well. So you could look at if you were to look at a painting and it was beautiful, and then you were to find out that that was a result of Microsoft Paint or whatever, ChatGPT or anything like that. You tell me that that's not going to reduce the enjoyment upon viewing it, because you will know that there's been no human hand involved in the creation of it.
I'm with you. I feel you. I hear exactly what you're saying. And the only problem is, especially with bands starting out, obviously there's a cost involved in hiring an artist, and that's the only problem. I think that's a
Well, but also you can take advantage of, and we have in the past. The, there's a time limit on licensing, so you can delve into the huge back catalogue of unlicensed artworks. Like our first record that came out in 2020, Guilt, that had a painting from, I believe, the 17th century that would just turn black and white.
right.
And I don't honestly, I still to this day think that that's totally legitimate. I mean, obviously, budget constraints were even harder now because harder then because thankfully now we've got certain amount of resources. Thankfully, there people buying the record and stuff like that. But yeah, just don't fall foul of because in a few years' time, when people will look back and see this overtly AI to images, and that will just be art should be tapped. I'm not speaking for ourselves here, but I'm speaking for music as art. It should be timeless. We can listen to the first Black Sabbath record, and it sounds just as fresh.
Yeah,
And they were just playing authentically and as themselves. The artwork's awesome. So, but if you're deciding to choose on something that's like totally transient, like the current setup for AI artwork, you're just setting yourself up for well, you've got no longevity. You've got no longevity at all.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And there is quite a few artists I know who are currently watching live. Monster Bait. My wife is also an artist, so they'll probably be in agreement with you, especially from hand drawn stuff as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, in all honesty, there's no. I mean, just doesn't matter what medium you use. I mean, if it's canvas or if it's digitally created, but as long as someone has created it, there's no issue there. I don't have. We've edited stuff on iPads and stuff like that. Our artwork's been digitally edited, not the original pictures, but it doesn't matter the medium as long as there's like a creative force instead of just algorithmic based.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely disgusted that no one has asked this question yet. So I'm gonna do it
No one's
myself, mate.
interested.
I'm gonna
All right,
ask it
okay.
myself. What's your Greg's order?
Two steak bakes back to back, hot or cold, preferably cold. And yeah, that's
Slightly warm in the
the
middle.
price of nah, not that bothered really.
Yeah.
But the price of steak bakes is absolutely atrocious now. It used to be like 79 pence when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Why? What's your thoughts? What's your Greg's
I'm a
order?
steak bake as well, but I do like the bean and cheese melt.
Oh, I don't like beans.
Do you not? Oh, mate, must just
Phobic to be. I will not. Even on a full English, I will not have any.
any kind of going around with yum yums as well.
Yum yums. Oh yes, yeah,
Aye,
yeah. You
aye,
can't go wrong. Anything
aye,
glazed. Anything glazed.
aye. Oh, what's this from Grimdoor? So back in the Kanye thing, this is from an article I read from the headline and set opening the Rolling Loud California Festival in Los Angeles on Thursday night. Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign, I'm guessing that is, merely stood on stage for an hour while pre-recorded music from their already released first album played over the loudspeakers.
Yeah.
This is
I
the first
mean,
time hearing about this. To be fair.
yeah. I'm aware of Kanye's escapades, but
Antics.
if it's advertised as an album listening, let them go for it if you know what I mean. But if it was advertised as a performance, then it's certainly not a performance. But
That is a
you
good
know,
question.
yeah, like I saw on Instagram earlier on that I think Kanye is doing one of those things like the Giza pyramids,
Right.
which is ambitious. Like fair play to him on that one. I don't agree with a lot of what he's doing, but he's certainly got ambition. But if it was advertised as a performance and it's just them standing and listening to it, it's not acceptable. But
So it
you
was a
know, if
festival appearance, apparently. Apparently, it was a festival appearance, and they didn't realize that was what they were going to do.
well, yeah, well, if the public thought that they would see a performance, it's kind of not cool. But anything, rock music nowadays is incredibly commercial, and it's the main focus is not on the art itself; it's on the revenue received from it. So,
Yeah,
and the fans as well feel it as well. I would say a lot of the people that go to Rolling Loud, I've I've seen some documentaries on it. I wouldn't class is the type of fans that go to Bloodstock, such as me and yourself. Like we're like true music fans, but Rolling Loud's just an Instagram festival really. It's just appearances only, no depth. There's nothing else apart from superficial when it comes to Rolling Loud. So live by the sword, die by the sword. If you go to Rolling Loud,
I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, I think that's it. I think we're going to safely call it there. I do appreciate your time, Rob, for chatting with us.
Thank you very much.
But tonight, man,
Thank you very much for having me on.
It's absolutely no worries whatsoever. I love talking to bands and getting to know people a bit more better. It's why I wanted to start this in the first place. So yeah, thank you everyone who's been watching live on Twitch. If you are not familiar of Yersin, please go and check them out. They are an absolutely fantastic band. I'll be playing a track because we are hanging around after this. We'll be playing some tunes, and I'll be happy to play some Yersin for you if you are unaware of them. But before we do call it quits, Rob, anything that you would like to plug before we call it a night?
Yeah, we've got a couple of shows after the tour. Obviously, we've covered the tour, but I believe we're playing a hardcore punk festival in Manchester with Drop Dead, and all the revenue for that's going towards the Manchester Rape Crisis charity. So that's fantastic.
Nice.
And then we're playing Cosmic Vibration later on this year, I believe. Is it Sheffield? I don't know. And then we've got some other stuff as well, but and then after that, it's just what will be, will be.
Nice one.
There's no greater plan than that.
A request from Formaldehyde, who's currently in chat. So, like I say, we are hanging around and going to be playing a couple of songs for a bit. Can you choose 2 songs for us to kick off? 2 songs, any band. Formaldehyde, you are requested to remember this.
Okay, well, as I had the great pleasure of meeting and talking to Gal on Saturday, From the Running Blood by Godseed.
Godseed. So, Running Blood by Godseed, is that correct?
No, I think it's called From the Running Blood. I believe it's a huge track. And then, even though I slandered thrash metal earlier in the podcast, can we go Circle of Beliefs by Slayer off Divine Intervention, because it's got 7 guitar solos in it.
Circle of Beliefs. Right.
Yeah.
Formaldehyde, are you on it? You better be on it like a carb on it. Because the last time we did this, we completely forgot the songs. Oh, brilliant. So once again, Rob, tar very much.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Before we end, I like to end just on this. The rules of the pit are the rules for life. When someone falls, we pick them up. Take care, everyone. Hang around, and I'll speak to you in about maybe 10 minutes after I have a quick short break. So see you in a bit.